What is going on, guys? Sebastian is here. So I basically posted something on my Instagram yesterday where I showed a certain revenue from Facebook ads. It was $37,000 spent to generate $601,000. That's an average ROAS of around 16. People are used to 2 to 3 ROAS. So when I posted that, a lot of people freaked out and did not understand what it was. I got told that it was fake revenue. It's not. And so yeah, people told me to make a video about this. So I'm going to be breaking down how this happened with dropshipping, from budget, how much you need for budget, product, all that stuff, down to the actual special thing that allows people to get 10% plus conversion rates, and how you can too. Very simple stuff. A lot of people just don't talk about it. So let's get into my computer. So we have 37,219 ad spend to generate $601,309 with Facebook ads. How did this happen? Number one, I want to talk about budgets. At minimum, you should have around $1,000. Definitely, the more the better. That's going to be spent on ad spend, product fulfillment, ad creatives, apps, domains, setting up your Shopify store with the Shopify hosting, and all that stuff. So product fulfillment, you need funds for that because normally your payment processors don't pay you out instantly. It's normally 1 to 2 days after you actually get paid from, like, someone purchases from your store. So you want to be able to process those orders right once they come in, like same day, because you want to get your customers their products as fast as possible. And if you can do that, and if you're able to do that, you will have a much more, I guess, long-term store and more sustainable store, because normally your customers are much more appreciative of you when you have fast processing and can get their tracking number to them within like 24 hours. So that is good to have an extra budget to actually fulfill the orders. So for ad creatives, when I'm testing products, I'm normally testing 5 to 10 videos. I have someone I pay to film videos for my product and then edit them and make them a little different. So I usually do 5 to 10 videos, testing the first 3 seconds different, and then I normally have just 2 videos, 2 or 3 videos that are completely different videos for my ads. So in order to get those custom and, I guess, professionally filmed, you should have a smaller budget for that. So that's going to be like a few $100s. Now that is saying if you want to pay someone. If you want to do it yourself, you can definitely save money and do that if you are on a tighter budget. And then again, apps and domains, that is just the simple stuff. I'm not really going to get into apps and all that stuff. I want to talk about scaling and how to actually scale with a very, very high ROAS, because that's what this video is about. So before we can get into all that stuff, I want to talk about the mindset and probable outcome of what you should expect if you've never ever ran a dropshipping store successfully. I'm saying if you have ran stores and not ran them successfully, you must go into this knowing you'll probably lose money. Now, I know you guys may think it's like a spend money, make money. It is, but it's to a certain extent. So dropshipping is like a second language. You need to first understand the basics before you can even conjugate a sentence with speaking a different language. Same thing as with dropshipping. You need to learn a ton before you can even generate your first sale. And then at that point, you are just breaking the tip of the iceberg. There is still a ton of stuff that you need to understand. So understand that it's just not something that you're gonna start one day, turn on ads and spend $100 and then make a shit ton of money. It just doesn't work like that. If you think that is how it works, you are dumb, basically. So understand that you will spend money and lose money prior to your success with this business. But as long as you stay persistent, you'll figure it out. So you need to be able to solve problems. I think that's one of the biggest things. And I was talking to my buddy Sebastian about Sebastian Georgiou, I'm sure you know him, about this. It's like your ability to solve problems is kind of the basis of how successful you can be. Big entrepreneurs are just big problem solvers. They solve big problems in the world and they get paid heavily for it. So I always have people who message me and ask me very simple questions to where I don't think they'll become successful just because they don't have the ability to solve basic problems like, oh, how do I increase my Facebook budget or Facebook ad spend limit from $50 when in reality they're not using a business Facebook account. Like very simple stuff. If you can't solve these problems, you definitely can't figure out how to generate $100,000 a month, because you have to have the ability to solve problems. It's essential. You're not likely to have your first product and your first store work. It is not likely of you to make your first store successful. I had a few stores that failed prior to my success. And I would not even call myself successful, but prior to me figuring out how to properly run ads and generate profitable income with my business, prior to all of that, I failed many times with Facebook and with influencers and all that stuff. So understand it is not likely for you to have your first dropshipping store be successful. If you go into it thinking you're gonna have results like myself or all the people you watch on YouTube, it is going to diminish your mindset for this business, and you're going to just probably give up, because if you go into it thinking you're gonna make $10,000 your first month, it's just not likely. So understand that it is, again, a learning process and it takes time. I would like to mention any progress is progress. It's still progress. You know, even if you go from running ads and by day 3 you get sales, and then you launch new ads and day 1 you're getting sales, that is progress. It gets to the point where you need to learn how to run ads and generate sales first day, and then how to analyze the ads and figure out which ones are successful, and then how to properly scale them to then have them still generate you sales every single day. So your ability to, I guess, consistently maintain progress throughout your business is kind of the basis of how you will become successful. If you can maintain progress and consistently be learning through this whole, I guess, journey with dropshipping, you will have success. So understand, all progress, no matter how small, is still progress. It took myself 2 years to scale one dropshipping store to over 6 figures a month. 2 years. I started in 2017, and I did not become insanely successful, I would say, until 2 years after. So again, it's just the same thing. Do not think you're gonna make this work in the first run. It takes time. So just keep that in mind. It took me a while. It may take you guys a while, but if you stay consistent like I did, you can make stuff work. You need to maintain cash flow. So before we get into scaling and all that stuff, you can't scale ads unless you maintain cash flow. Like I mentioned, if you can go through all these points again, you will not make money your first store. It is not likely. You need to understand certain basics to Facebook advertising before you can generate profitable revenue with your company and with your dropshipping store. You will not make money the first run. Therefore, you need to maintain cash flow, whether that's having a job or having a more, I guess, not as risky business where you have to spend a ton of money to generate income. I had someone who was like selling digital services, and I was mentoring him, and in order for me to, or in order for him to spend money on ads, he was selling these digital services. I don't know exactly what they were. I just knew it didn't require a ton of money. So in order for him to spend the money on ads, he had to maintain cash flow otherwise. So a lot of people think like, oh, I made $100 today on dropshipping, I should just quit my job. It's normally not the case. Maintain cash flow. You need money to spend on ads, and if you're losing money on Facebook, spending money on ads, you need to have something else to replenish the funds. So having a job is not necessarily the worst idea. I know it may sound bad, but you can't take the leap of faith and like become a full-time dropshipper until you've actually understood it completely. So we're gonna get into, I guess, the basics of what you need building up to how to actually start generating this type of revenue. You need a great product, so the product must be scalable. I like to mention this for fidget spinners and other stuff. I'll mention some products that people are actually selling right now that is like the fidget spinner of this year. But you know, fidget spinners, I bought a fidget spinner, I bought a few. All of my friends had fidget spinners. I'm sure you had a fidget spinner if you're watching this, and if you're not, that is unfortunate. But that is a product that was able to basically be sold to anyone who was conscious, because it was just such a simple product. Everyone played with them and it was just very fun and calming. So that was a great product to scale. Another product is fake AirPods. That product, anyone will buy those because they're half the price of real AirPods. That product is being scaled right now. I know someone who just did like $1 million from it in like a few days, which is nuts. So you need those products that are able to scale and have a massive audience. If you want to scale to that height, if you don't want to, that's fine. You just have to find a more niche product. But if you want to be hitting multiple 6 figures per month, you need to have a product that is able to be sold to a lot of consumers every single month. If you have a product that has a smaller audience, you will not be able to scale to that size. Your product must also have a wow factor. So if people see it and they don't get hyped about the product, you're selling the wrong product normally if you want to scale. There are certain instances where it's just like a product that people already knew they wanted, and then you run an ad and they just buy it because they've already wanted the product. But normally you need a cool product that surprises people with how cool it is, in a sense. Building off of that, your product needs to be unique. It can't be sold in stores. I think this is a very, very big portion of finding a good product. If you find a product that people can go buy it at Target for a third of the price, why would they buy it from you? I think that's something I always ask myself when creating a store and products. You need to have products that just make it feel, I guess, give the customer a feeling that they need the product right now, and if they don't buy it, they're missing out. So you just have to have it be unique. Another thing is you need to have great pricing, so you need to go price match with a ton of other stores. And another cool thing with this is you can actually contact the AliExpress suppliers and negotiate pricing down before you even start selling the product, so you could maybe get an edge over your competitors, not customers, to where you can actually price cut them. So I had a store where I was selling a product that was, I think it was like $11, so I started selling it at $30, and then I actually talked to someone else who was a shipping product fulfillment agent, and he was able to give me the product for $6 shipped with 5 to 11 day shipping. And I was able to undercut my competitors. They were selling it for 25 and I started selling it for 19. That will increase the amount of conversions you get by a lot. If you have a better product page and a better price, you will normally get more conversions than them. The next is having an enticing description. You need to learn from other stores on how to have enticing descriptions. So it definitely, sometimes a few sentences works, and that is kind of all you need. I had a store where only a few sentences, that's all I needed to write, but I have some stores where I need to write like a Harry Potter novel, basically, in a sense, like just tons of text to sell the product even more. It definitely depends on the product. You can gauge that, but you need to have an enticing description that hooks them. I like to go on Apple and see when they sell the product. Like when you scroll through their whole website, it looks amazing and just makes you get a good vibe from their website to where you just feel the need to buy their product. You must have reviews and testimonials. That's essential as well. And this video is going to be very long, but I think this stuff is all crucial if you're going to even think of scaling a store to $600,000, because it's not like you can just whip this up in a few hours. This takes time. Moving on, having a great store. So your store must have a good overall feeling. Again, like I mentioned with Apple, you need all your potential questions from your customers answered. So what do I mean by this? I have FAQ pages that I write up, and I probably have 40 questions that I've answered in my FAQ page. And in order when I do that with the intent of lowering my amount of emails I get from my customers. So when I'm doing running ads and stuff, I don't want to have a ton of emails because I don't want to have someone manage them, and I normally manage them myself because I have answers to basically every question. So it's not that tough. But when you create a FAQ page with tons of answers, you kind of instill a lot of trust in your customers, and then you also eliminate the amount of emails you get. So it's pretty smart. I would say go through and try to think of as many questions as you can. As a consumer, think of what they would ask and then just answer them all in a huge FAQ page. Put it all together, make it look nice, and yeah, you'll be good to go. Your store has to have a sleek design, so with that, you should have custom themes. I think, yes, a lot of people still use the debut theme and it works, but it doesn't work as effectively with a custom theme. I have a few that I use. If you want to message me on Instagram, I guess I can just send you which ones I use. But custom themes are very essential, and my Instagram is just TMP, 3 letters. So yeah, you can message me, but you have to have tons of trust on your site as well. That is kind of in addition to reviews, but also just like trust badges, reviews, having every single question answered. All that stuff kind of compiles into a form of trust where they then agree to trusting you and trusting you with their money that they've worked hard for. Then they buy your product. That's how it works. You need to make your buyers confident with you, so if you're not successfully portraying that you are a trustworthy site, they will not buy from you, and that is essential, or else you will not make you can't have a 10% conversion rate if you're not making your customers trust you. That's 1 in every 10 clicks. Like, that is very unlikely if you have spelling errors and if you don't have tons of reviews. So that stuff is all very, very essential. One huge thing is if your customers feel like you are taking advantage of the customer, they will not buy from you as consistently as if you make them feel like they are the ones winning in this transaction. So for myself, I think here's a good example. Yeezy, the company, the shoe company, when they sell a shoe, they make the customer think that the customer is getting the steal, like they're stealing the product, because then they can go and resell the product, the shoes, and make more money. Same thing should be with your product. I'm simply saying, find a way, which I'm gonna explain in, I think, the last slide, find a way to actually make it to where people think that they're getting the best deal and they are taking advantage of you. When you have that in your store, you can make a lot of money. It's pretty nuts. So yeah, that is kind of essential. No countdown timers, please do not use those. It doesn't work. Please don't. It may work if you're running like up to $1,000 a day, but if you want to get into $10,000 a day and have it to where people are consistently coming back to your store, if you still have countdown timers that were supposed to expire yesterday or 2 days ago, it doesn't look good. You look like a scam. Like, your store literally just looks like a scam. Please do not do that. That is dumb. That's kind of that for that slide. Now we're gonna get into Facebook ads. This is just the basics. I don't want to get too in depth, but I start out my ads now. I've learned from someone who's done crazy numbers. You need to start out with CBOs from the start. I just do 10 ad sets. I go at different angles for all of them. So what do I mean by that? For myself, if I'm selling, let's just say I'm gonna be selling fake AirPods. I've never sold those, but let's say I'm selling fake AirPods. If I want to target, I can target Netflix and Hulu, and then I can target like Spotify, and then I can target Apple iPhone owners. So those are different angles that I'm going at. One is a TV show. I can target Spotify, that's a streaming platform for music, and then I can target just Apple iPhone owners. So those are all different angles, and then you can kind of build upon that and see which angles are working the best. So if you have a certain amount of angles that are working and then some aren't, you can normally test similar angles with the ones that are performing well, and those will also work. So I like to go at different angles because then you can test more and get an understanding of what truly will convert. Just run the ads for 3 days, and again, I have one, I would say just like $100 CBO budget. If your CTR is less than 2%, turn off. I would check that after the first 24 hours. After 3 days, turn off all non-performers with no purchases at break even spent. That is kind of, I guess, conservative. For me, I personally will let them run a little longer, but I'm just saying for you guys, if you have not the biggest budget, turn off after 3 days if you don't have any purchases on the ad set. Rinse and repeat until you have 10 plus winning ad sets. So if you have 10 ad sets or more that are bringing you a ton of sales and that are very profitable, that is good, because then it'll just be basically duplicating those into bigger CBOs. Once you have a 1000%, I guess, assurance that they are winning, which I mean if they're giving you tons and tons of sales every single day for like 3 to 5 days straight. If it's just one day where they're banging, do not scale the ad sets, please. Be smart with this. Do not think that if they're performing good one day, they'll perform good every day. You need to have a good track record with the ads. So let them run for a while. And once you see, okay, this ad has been performing really well, I'm at a 4 or 5 ROAS, or even like a 10 ROAS like I've mentioned in this video. I'm at a 10 ROAS for the past 3 days. I can now scale this ad. That is where you want to start scaling. You don't want to scale when you've had one successful day with your ads. That is foolish and it is unlikely to work. Simultaneously, while you're running these interest tests, I just do, again, one interest. You want to be testing 95% video view lookalike audiences, view content lookalikes, add to cart lookalikes, initiate checkout lookalikes, and purchase lookalikes. So how you actually set up 95% video views LLAs is you'll have to run ads for video views from top 5 countries or just US, so United States, United Kingdom, New Zealand, Canada, and Australia, or just United States. And then once you have 2,000 plus video views at 95%, you can start running lookalike audiences at 1 to 2%, 2 to 5%, 5%, 5 to 10%, kind of whatever you'd like to test to figure out what works. You want to test as many potential ad sets as you can, so the more the better. Same applies with video view content, add to carts, initiate checkouts, and purchases. Wait until you have enough purchases, initiate checkouts, and all that stuff, and then you can start running lookalike audiences from that. Again, I put all these into a CBO and just let them run. CBOs are working very well. Now, I didn't put it in a slide, but while you are doing this, you need to be testing multiple creatives. So in each ad set, I would add 3 creatives in each ad set, and that is essential. I would say that is pretty critical, because if you have one ad set that is only testing 1 creative, it doesn't make sense mathematically. So if you put 3 creatives in one ad set and you're putting the hard work on Facebook to where now they have to go out and figure out which actual creatives are going to work best for your ad. So maybe you have 3 creatives, but the first one you were just going to test was creative 3, okay? So you test creative 3 and you have a 2.2% click-through rate. let's say you test creative 1 and 2, and those have a 3 and a 6 click-through rate, 6% and 3%. If you never tested the other two, you would never know how much potential you could have with these ads because you never tested creative. So I think testing creatives is essential. What I mean by that is just testing the first 3 seconds of a video, testing different thumbnails, testing a different whole video, testing different text and all that stuff. I think it's essential. Even testing like carousel ads compared to video ads, maybe even a GIF or even just a photo. Test everything as much as you possibly can. If you don't understand a crucial aspect of this business, it's testing. Now, this is the secret, I would say, to a 10% plus conversion rate and a 16 ROAS on this specific store and everything, and the Facebook ads, all that stuff. Make this sale a no-brainer to your customers. What do I mean by that? Make it to where they have no reason not to buy from your store. And I know that sounds weird because you guys, I'm going to assume, are used to like a 1% to 3% conversion rate. And that is, I guess, par for you guys. But here's the thing. If you can make it a no-brainer to your customers, how likely do you think you are to getting a 10% conversion rate? 1 in every 10 people buy. I think it's pretty easy. So how you do that is, I recommend adding Klarna to your site. Klarna is this payment, and I'm not affiliated with Klarna, by the way. I just find immense value in it. So Klarna is basically a payment processor that allows customers to buy the product and they don't even have to really spend money. They I guess, order the product and then they pay after 30 days. The best part is Klarna pays you first, so they will pay you right away, and then the customer actually pays Klarna after 30 days for the product, and if they don't like it, they'll return the product. Now, yes, you may get, let's just say you get 10% of your purchases are returned. That means that you have an overall successful conversion rate of 9%. That is still amazing. Having this installed on your website is how you're going to be able to get a 10% conversion rate, even though like we're in a time where having a 10% conversion rate is nearly impossible because dropshipping has been so, I guess, blown up mainstream wise to where a lot of people know about it. You can still maintain a 10% conversion rate if you have stuff like this implemented into your site to make it a no-brainer for your potential customers to buy it and kind of just trust because they have nothing to fear. So no one dropshipping does this. It's all real businesses and people who just like don't do dropshipping. Like, it's normally bigger companies and bigger brands that are doing it. So doing this and being dropshipping, it increases your conversion rate and the amount of revenue you pull in. Unreal amounts, like I'm talking unreal. So it's very, very essential that you add this in if you want to see results similar to the ones I've shown. Leveraging a good product and knowing what your customers like, I think that's essential. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button and click subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram at TMP. It's 3 letters, all of it in the description as well. Yeah, I have nothing to sell you in this video. I literally just wanted to make this to kind of get you guys used to what is going on, because there's a lot of new content and new strategies that people are using, like myself and other people I know, behind the scenes, and I want to keep you guys up to date. So hope you guys again enjoyed. If you want to see me walk through this store and show you exactly what the store was and all that stuff, let me know. I'm not sure if I want to do that because that's kind of exposing a lot. But yeah, let me know. And again, subscribe. I think I'm close to 10,000 subs, which is awesome. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed.